Hello there, citizens of the Reject Nation. We are going to watch The Last of Us episode 8 today. I'm assuming the David chapter. We are here joined with Andrew Gordon, Agor711. How are you?
I'm good, almost as good as your biceps, but yes, I'm excited to see the David episode because I thought he was one of the best written characters in the game, so I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to get.
That's great. My biceps. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You know why they look good today? Because of this shirt. Shop0edition.com. This is a Real Rejects exclusive Last of Us inspired shirt. And don't worry, if you haven't played the game, there is not a single part of the game where Joel and Ellie are doing the Shaun of the Dead ending. Guys, with that in mind, go ahead and leave a like. That would mean a lot, wouldn't it, Andrew?
I think so.
They should also subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when our reaction for the finale is up. Isn't that right, Andrew?
I think you should.
Also, by the way, full interaction watch-alongs where you sync up with your own copy available for our super sexy rejects over at our Patreon page. We cover stuff exclusively over there, reaction highlights and watch-alongs included. Andrew, shut up. Let's get to it.
Revelation 21.
Oh, he's a pasture.
And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, "Behold,
David.
and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes."
Wipe her tears away.
Do you remember what comes next?
Jesus killed the clickers.
And God will wipe away all tears from their eyes. Do you know what that means? Good.
He's so creepy.
His cadence does sound a lot like the original voice actor.
Nolan North, yeah.
The ground is too cold to dig. We'll bury your father in the spring. God bless him. We'll get through this.
Oh, we're going to get to know his people. They're human, too. They're not just horrible
We're
individuals.
humanizing everyone, even them.
Josiah and Martin think they spotted some deer the other night. It was dark. See what you want to see sometimes.
Troy Baker!
Oh, my God. I didn't even recognize him
I
at
didn't
first.
recognize him at first.
James. Yeah.
It's Joel!
I sensed doubt in there.
Like Thomas.
I still believe. It's been, the last 6 months have been hard.
Oh, you can hear his Joel voice peeking through.
Now go get our guns. We're going hunting.
He said make him part of David's team. That's interesting.
You thirsty?
Wow, this does feel biblical. Oh. Is there an Arby's open? Yeah, look at her eye on the gun.
Gotta get some food. It's cool seeing the precursor.
Yeah, I like this.
Oh, no bow and arrow.
Stop comparing it to the game,
I'm
Andrew.
sorry. I didn't mean to compare it. Wow.
I love that they shot this on location.
Yes.
I'm going to miss this show.
I know, right?
I'm going to miss this damn.
Oh.
Oh, that is freezing.
Sounds like a clicker, but I would assume it's a deer. Do what Joel taught you.
That deer is an asshole.
Oh. Oh no, poor deer.
Follow the blood trail.
Yeah. Man, the cinematography. Wow. It's just, I love it.
What do you think?
I don't see anybody. You think we can just take it?
Turn and face me. Slow. Any sudden moves, I put one right between your eyes. Ditto for Buddy Boy. I won't say it twice.
Please, just 10 seconds. We're not asking for charity. We can trade you for some of the deer. We have, what do you need? We have...
Medicine? Like for infections.
Not for a bite.
Follow us.
I'm not following you anywhere. Buddy Boy can go get it. You get half the deer. Anyone else shows up, I put one
Put
right
one right
between...
between my eyes. Bring back 2 bottles and a syringe. It's not code, James. Do as I said.
Wink. You look badass.
A while before James gets back, I have some oil and matches in my pack. We could take shelter.
Bring him with us.
Starting this off with leaning in on him being a pastor makes this a very different kind of dynamic. The optics around it just hit you differently.
They did hint at it in the game, but yes, I agree.
You know, you really shouldn't be out here all on your own.
From where I'm sitting, you shouldn't be out here on your own.
For what it's worth, there's room for you in our group if you want.
You're inviting me to your hunger club? Thanks.
I'm a decent man, just trying to take care of the people who rely on me.
They chose to follow you. Is this some weird cult thing?
Good question.
I am a preacher. What?
The whole world ended and you still believe that shit.
I actually started believing after the world ended. Taught kids about your age.
So you went from teacher to preacher because what, it fucking rhymes?
Well, I found God after the apocalypse, which is either the best time or the worst time to find him. Hard to say.
Yeah.
And as we wandered, we picked up new people along the way until we ended up here.
Only luck had to run out sooner or later.
Luck? There's no such thing as luck. No, I believe everything happens for a reason.
Sure.
We didn't expect this winter to be so cruel. Game's been hard to find. So I sent 4 of our people to a nearby town.
Ah, they're skipping it.
Only 3 of them came back. And the one that didn't was a father. He had a daughter just like you. And her dad was taken from her.
Yikes.
He was murdered by this crazy man. That crazy man was traveling with a little girl.
Aw.
Everything happens for a reason. James, lower the gun.
Man.
Did you bring the medicine?
Yeah, but...
Throw it to her.
David.
Back away.
That's Joel. Why are you telling him to back away?
Can protect you.
I'm so sad they skipped it. Don't compare, I know.
You'll have to adjust, Andrew.
Joel, where the f*** do I put this?
It's a big gamble. Aw.
So sweet. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
What is it?
Venison.
Do they not know what they're...
I don't know.
Seems like they keep it hidden from the people.
Oh, they just brought the deer in.
Big one.
Oh, did you tell them?
Yes, we found a girl who was with the man who took Alec from us. When the sun rises, I'll lead a group out to pick up her trail.
Interesting.
We'll bring that man to justice.
You should kill him. You should kill both of them.
This is
Okay.
really interesting. Yeah. Wow, I got so many thoughts about this. Because that's definitely setting up quite something that I can't spoil.
Whoa.
David.
truth is, Hannah, you will always have a father. And you will show him respect when he's speaking.
Creep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know, this is icky. Oh, this is disturbing as hell. Are they eating the dad?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's despicably gross.
I really like the sinister additions, though.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it's awesome. And they are springboarding a lot of thoughts.
Good old Callus.
Do you have a weapon, Ellie?
I was thinking that.
We bring that girl back with us. She's just another mouth to feed.
Leave her out here, she'll die.
Yeah, maybe that's God's will.
Oh no.
He's not a believer. Smack him.
Don't question me. Oh, that was a gunshot.
There are men coming, okay? I'm gonna lead them away from you. But if anybody makes it down here, you can kill them. You got it?
This is intense. This is intense.
Do not fall asleep.
Oh. Callus. Ooh, good
Nicely
shot.
done.
Keep coming, fuckers.
No.
Oh!
Callus.
I got her!
Hate when horses die.
Do it.
Oh no. I want justice for Alec.
2 of you with me. The rest of you, stay here, go door to door. You so hungry for vengeance? Deliver it.
Huh?
Oh, what a creep.
Yeah.
He's good, though. Got a great actor for this role.
Yeah.
He's great. Come on, Joel. John Wick their asses. Damn, this guy got lucky on the first try.
Well, we don't know how many houses he visited before.
Nicely done.
Oof.
Look him in the eyes. Watch his soul leave. Damn, he died in a really devilish way.
Yeah, painful too. Dude, the
Got a
sound,
smile on his face.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
the sound design in this episode is splendid.
Point to this map.
There's just one line from this scene I want. Just one. And I think you know what it is.
Why am I in a cage?
Because I'm afraid of you. You're a dangerous person. You've certainly proven that. I can see how much you care about him, but even so, you gotta face reality.
You gotta face reality, dick.
That part of your life, it's ending. And what I'm offering you is a beginning. But if you can't find a way to trust me, then yes, you are alone.
It's not a great start to the trust building. These guys need Manscaped products.
Oh, shit.
Oh, is that Joel?
Ooh.
I thought that was Joel pretending to be hurt.
Yes, yes. We're doing the scene. Yes.
Leave him alone. Oh. You're next.
Oh, please. I don't know any girl.
No. He can't help you. You focus right here, or I'll pop your fucking kneecap off.
She's alive.
Where?
What town? Silver Lake. It's a resort.
A resort?
I'm so happy they're doing this.
You're gonna point to where we are and where your resort is.
Yes.
And it better be the exact same spot your buddy points to.
I've never been so happy to see such a messed up scene.
Go ask him. He'll tell you. I'm not lying.
I ain't telling you shit. It's okay. No. I believe him.
Yes! Oh, yes. So happy. So happy.
Very well delivered.
Ooh. Grossy. Gross, gross, gross.
For what it's worth, this is just deer meat, I swear.
Okay.
You're gonna chop me up into little pieces.
I'd rather not.
You're an animal.
Well, yes, we all are. That's sort of the point.
Yeah. Fair.
It was a last resort. You think it doesn't shame me?
That would be my first resort.
Let them starve? These people who put their lives in my hands? I don't think your friend would either. Didn't he take another man's life to save yours?
He was defending himself.
He was defending you.
You weren't around for the context, David.
And you know what I see when I look at you? Me. You have a violent heart. And I should know. I've always had a violent heart. I struggled with it for a long time. Then the world ended and I was shown the truth.
By God.
No. By cordyceps.
Huh.
It's fruitful, it multiplies, feeds and protects its children. It secures its future with violence if it must.
Yes, yes.
It loves. I'm a shepherd surrounded by sheep, and all I want is an equal. A friend. I can tell the others to stop looking for him. They'll spare him.
Really? They'll just let him go?
They follow me, and they would follow us. Lord knows I could use the help. We'd grow, spread out, and we'd do whatever we needed for our people. Imagine the life we could build. Let's see what I go tell the others now.
Ellie,
What?
tell them that Ellie is the little girl who broke her
Yes. That's all I wanted.
Bella Ramsey, you are awesome. She better get a nomination, I swear to God. The real God, not this false God, David Willie.
The cordyceps god.
Damn, look at this, man.
Oh.
Oh. It's like the Predator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait! Don't do it! Please don't do it! Please don't!
Had your chance.
No! I'm infected! And now so are you. Roll up my sleeve. Look at it.
Dude, this episode has a great grip on build.
What did you say? Everything happens for a reason, right?
Yeah.
No, she would have turned by now. This isn't real. That looks pretty fucking real to me.
Troy Baker.
Aw, poor Troy Baker. Troy Baker, man.
Oh, I know which part we're at. Oh, boy. Oh, this part always freaked me out. Oh,
nice
yeah.
landing.
Yeah.
Damnation!
Ellie? Ellie! Ellie!
He's so creepy.
No one infected fights this hard to stay alive.
That's a Philippians quote.
No one likes being humiliated, Ellie. You don't know how good I am! You see, I've changed my mind. I've decided you do need a father. Ellie.
Ooh, crazy shot.
Oh. Oh.
I thought you already knew. The fighting is the part I like the most.
Ugh.
Don't be afraid. There's no fear in love.
Get him. God.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
It's me. It's me. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, baby girl. I got you. I got you.
Ah,
Wowie.
that is paced so well, though.
Radio. So listen, we're gonna have to do this review a little different. Decided very early on that we're gonna need a spoiler section. All right, we just need one because there's especially some implementation they had in this episode, and I'm like, I have to talk. So we're gonna not go into spoilers right now, but we'll just stick to here. However, there's gonna be some stuff that talks about the future, specifically regarding the second game, that I think would be good to touch on. But I thought this was an excellent episode. I really did. I thought it was excellent. You know, like I don't want to spend too much time backtracking to some other episodes. This did that thing though, where they did cut out some stuff that would have been cool to bring to the big screen, but they also added in a lot of things and expanded upon that I thought made it for taking this section of the game that is very, like, obviously they have to condense it down, but it didn't feel rushed to me or like a short film version. I thought it was a perfectly packaged, piece that they had to do in order to tell this chapter, which I think is really integral to the development of Ellie, especially because of just the depth she has to ultimately go to in order to survive. Like she is a survivor like anyone else, but this is the first time where you see her unleash a violent side of herself that you never get to see prior. Like you get the sense that maybe she ended up killing Riley after Riley turned. In this show, she hasn't killed any humans yet, right? Am I right about that?
I think she shot a few people, but like actually hand-to-hand combat, I believe this is her first one.
Yeah, this is like brutal. Like she killed 2 people in this episode.
She shot a few people. Yeah.
Yeah, and you watch like sort of this morphing process, and also with Joel having to rescue her. Like this is a real pivotal turning point for both of these characters, and you can just sort of see it in the emotions. And I thought they did an excellent job on bringing that to life. I thought it was like, yeah, David's great and all. Well, I do want to talk more about him. I was really impressed with the way this episode was paced because it starts off at like really deliberate, and the pace just kept ramping up and kept going and going and going. And then the way they handled, especially the reveal of David, like what I thought was cool about, because if you guys haven't played the game, when they introduce him, they introduce him when Ellie's about to grab the deer. Mm-hmm. That's the first introduction. And it's immediately kind of, I don't know about this guy, But then some stuff happens in the game that they do not have here that makes you go, oh, maybe he's actually an all right guy. And then you find out, no, he's not an all right guy. So I thought they had a neat effect here where when they introduce him, you're like, oh, he's a caretaker. He loves his people. There's something warm about him. He's a family man. Yeah. So when they meet Ellie, you're like, no, this is one of the good guys. Of course I've played the game, but in the context here, I imagine if I hadn't played the game, I'd be like, no, he's one of the good guys. He's one of the all right guys. Come on. And then they slowly start to peel it back.
Yeah.
Like, oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. Oh, wow, really, never mind. This guy snapped in the apocalypse, And I thought they did a really excellent job where a lot of the tone was driven by the drive to save Ellie, the drive to protect Joel, and of course I don't even call it transformation, more of the unveiling of David. I thought it was instrumented very, very well. So, yeah, but Andrew, you didn't get your scene that you wanted. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in a sec. I did think, again, as you just mentioned, this episode was extremely well paced, minus the scene I didn't want.
Bastards, Andrew.
Yeah, but again, you know what? Even though I was disappointed by that, there have been others. I mean, you made a great point that the stuff that they did include did make up for it, although I really still would. Like, the reason I think that scene is so pivotal, important, at least for me, yes, I get it in the game. It was an action sequence, so you're in control, so it's like important. But I also feel it's just so important because it shows that Ellie is just, obviously, yes, we get to see Ellie, later on in this episode where she survives on her own and she does take care of David, of course. I mean, we get that in the game as well. But just seeing her fend off for herself on her own when, you know, a bunch of infected are coming after her, like seeing that side of Ellie, it's just, it's, I don't know, it just, for me, it was just such an important and integral part of the game, and for Ellie's character, just fleshing her out more. And I was a little bit saddened not to see it. I get why they didn't put it in, although I wish like even 5-minute sequence of that action sequence would have made me even happy. But again, you can't get everything. But, you know, the thing that this show has, not just this episode, but this whole show, even though there have been action sequences that, to my sadness, have not been included, the characters have been absolutely, I mean, we talked about this before off camera, the characters have just been nailed perfectly for the most part, just across the board. Absolutely nailed. And if I had to choose one thing, I have the action sequences on my video game whenever I want, so I know I can always go to that. Would it be cool to see visually? Of course. Do I wish they were here? Absolutely. But if I had to pick what you were going to nail on an on-screen adaptation, I would choose the characters because I do have that action sequence and I can play it at home. So I'm glad that they are nailing the character-wise. Maybe season 2 we will get some more action sequences that we didn't get here. You never know. But again, you did make me feel a little better when you mentioned, yeah, that's true. We did get some inclusions that we didn't get in the game that make up for not getting that action sequence. And there were some stuff that they had in there, like the Ellie, you know, tell them that Ellie's the little girl that broke your finger. Like, I'm so glad they kept that in there, and I loved Belly's delivery in that moment. It nailed the tone of what Ashley Johnson was going to. We got Troy Baker, of course. I really like that actor a lot that they got for David. I really feel like he just nailed the mannerisms and the tone and that slimy, yet he feels almost like a good guy till until the reveal kind of happens of David that Nolan North really encompassed in the video game. Just really solid job by
I
that.
didn't realize Nolan North played him.
Yeah, it was
Never,
Nolan.
I didn't realize that.
It was Nolan North. So,
That Naughty Dog house, man.
No. So I thought that actor really nailed it. Again, very, very well paced episode. Some really cool action sequences that we did get that carried on from the game. Overall, yeah, really good episode. I love the locations. I love that they actually went on, you know, location to film in some of these in Colorado. Or where did they film? In Vancouver, I believe.
Man, it looks like Colorado.
It does look like Colorado. I think it was Vancouver, wherever it was. I'm glad they got to go, and the cinematography on the show is so top notch. I think my two favorite moments though of this episode were when Ellie was kind of like, you know, holding Joel in the bed, like just saying with him, like really just tender. Like it was such a tender and such a bonding moment. Just maybe that happened in the game. I'd have to.
I don't think it does.
Yeah. Either way, I love that. And then one of my favorite moments in the game that Pedro Pascal just absolutely nailed the line where he calls her baby girl. Like that's really, we've had moments of building and fleshing out of like, yes, I'm accepting this girl as my surrogate daughter from just the scenes where he's been so protective of her, but actually hearing him call her baby girl, like that, it's such a deep and amazing like moment. The delivery by Pedro Pascal, it's one of my favorite moments in the game when Joel is so accepting. Yes, I can do the protective stuff, but actually calling her and like being accepting that this is my daughter now. Like I'm ready to face that fact. Like I just loved it. And again, Pedro Pascal, I just loved it. And of course, the interrogation scene, like absolutely perfection with that scene. Like that was so freaking perfect. I mean, Pedro Pascal, like you talk about Belly getting nominated, which I agree, she absolutely deserves it. He better get freaking nominated for this show. Like his performance.
I think he's secured a nomination.
I
think he has.
He's so good.
Like I feel like Pedro Pascal is going to. This might sound weird. I don't ever put out a prediction like this. I think he's going to win Sexiest Man Alive in 2023. Like he has to, right? It's just like there's like a renaissance happening with this guy.
He's definitely the daddy of the year. You got Grogu, you got Ellie. Man. I mean,
he's awesome.
Yeah, but and then also too in regards to Ellie, like seeing what happens to her character, seeing the transformation. She basically, you know, when David violates her like that and. She really, to me, she loses a piece of her soul and a piece of her innocence, and it's just interesting seeing that transformation. How we see it in the game, and how, you know, Bella Ramsey was able to really show that the facial expressions, and like I could really feel like that, like watching her on screen, like just where you feel a piece of her soul is gone, like that innocence is gone, and you see that rage carry over, which we're going to talk about a little bit when we get to the spoiler section. How that rage carries on over, and so it's just. Yeah, no, it's a really tender and crazy moment for the character that she has to go through. I mean, yeah, David is I just think David is in the game, and especially here too. It's just such a well-written villain.
Yeah, he is. I think Ellie in that scene is like reborn in fire, you know?
Yeah.
And they do an excellent job which demonstrate like this chapter is so important because this is when you see Joel really like get ugly. He gets ugly and ruthless.
Yeah.
And then you see Ellie having to do that as well in order to survive. You know, there comes an understanding between the two of them. And I think when you talk about action scenes not being included, the element that I think would have helped aid this is the part is like it's not just that I want more gameplay sequences included because I really don't ever think about that too much. Like I was okay with missing it. However, the one part of this world that I think could use a little like going into season 2 that could help aid it is, you know, when you're in the game, when you're walking around, it's always scary because you just never know.
Yeah,
like, what the hell? There's something might be at any corner. Like,
Yeah.
you just never know. And here, I never really get the sense that we're ever in danger of infected being around.
Good
it's like
point.
you kind of always know. You're kind of always when infected are going to show up. You're aware, like, okay, this is an infected scene that's about to happen, as opposed to feeling like a constant looming threat in any direction, you know. And that was the sequence that they X out of this episode. So I do think that that is an element to the world of The Last of Us that ought to be. So it's not really so much about I want action scenes or anything. It's really I want that threat feeling. I want that threat kind of permeating throughout the experience.
Yeah.
You know?
Also the fact too, yes, we know David is a pedophile and, you know, like he wants Ellie around to be like his pet, and we get that. And I understand, but I just felt like too in the game, in that action sequence, like that whole action sequence just did a good job of building like why David wants her around, like after seeing what she can do.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
That scene, it's like,
that was
oh my.
that. I get what you're getting at because I did have that thought. Where like the part where I would agree with having that action scene is because when David's like, "I see this in you," I'm like, "You guys like
You just
talked
had a
for, like, 10
conversation."
minutes." yeah. And yes, like while there is, you know, a much more disgusting quality to David, a much more deviant side to David, you do get why he would think that that others. You get why he would also buy into the other stuff. He's not just saying it to take advantage of her.
Yeah.
There's also this side where he can't see it because he saw the kind of war. But then again, like with the game, the sequence of events plays out a little different because like they do the 3-month time. Like Joel's, is it 3 months? Like Joel's been like,
it was fall to winter, so
Joel's been healing for a long time.
Yes.
Right. And we did the winter. No.
We started winter a little bit earlier on the show, whereas in winter, like it literally starts right where the rabbit is and the bow and arrow. That's literally where it starts.
We got our winter jump after Henry and Sam.
Correct. So a little bit earlier on the show.
And but in the game, you get the winter jump after Joel
And leave Tommy and Jackson after they leave there.
Is that
Excuse me.
you get it
after he gets injured. Sorry.
So yeah,
after he gets injured.
he's been in the game. He's been healing.
Yes.
Up for a few months.
Yeah.
And that's how I was able. Whereas here, it's like, oh no, this just all occurred within a few days, right? Like that's. And so within that, you get Ellie, who's been hunting and providing for them, so she's developed skills and whatnot to be able to survive on her own and hunt down prey. So like that quality to building her up, I think when it comes to season 2, we're gonna just do a big time jump again, like following the second game, of how things progress. But anyway, yeah, I'm trying to watch my words here.
Yeah, but also too, if you notice, like right when the episode started and we hadn't even seen David, I said, "Is he a pasture?" Or like I was thinking. The reason I said that is because I'm sure many of you noticed in the video game. I'm not sure if you did. That action sequence that I was really saddened that we didn't get to see when they're warding off all the clickers and the infected and, of course, the bloater. David does say like he makes like a kind of a prayer. Did you ever notice that or hear that or no? Because I'd
don't
always know.
remember.
Yeah, like off to the side. It's not like a very focal point, but off to the side, he kind of makes like a prayer. And I'd always think in my head whenever I'd see him do that, because I'd always notice. I'm like,
Yeah.
was he a priest? Was he a pastor? Or like he's very like I feel like there's something religious here. So that's why in the beginning I was like, I wonder if they're gonna go that route. And then when I heard that, I was like, oh, it's David.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking that. So I was glad that they did expand upon that from the game. I had a feeling we were possibly gonna go there. But also too, I remember that line in the game where he said, "Oh, we're all starving, women, children." I always thought that was kind of a lying line that he was just trying to get Ellie's trust. So actually seeing it here, like, I mean, yeah, he was trying to get her trust, but it's like, no, there actually were women and children who were starving. So it was like kind of humanized. And I know we were kind of making a joke. We're humanizing the cannibals now too. Like we got to humanize everyone.
Well,
So.
they do specify that not everyone here is aware of what they're consuming.
Yeah.
I think Troy Baker brought a lot to this role.
Yeah, he was great as James.
I thought he brought you could feel the history in his eyes and these little exchanges of being David's my leader, but there's so much parts in the exchanges. Like they have that thing where he calls him out for being doubtful, and you could see that he doubts the way the leadership has progressed and the path they've had to go down. He's even like, there's even this hardened part of himself when it comes to his time to eat the food.
Oh yeah, no, that body language, yeah, for sure.
Where he doesn't want to do it, but he's like, "This is my life now," And there's a level of there's a big level of gravitas to what he brings. The pathos is more of the word I would say for what Troy Baker brought to this specific portrayal. Like I'm like, damn, he really brought. He's not just here for like a cameo. Like this is a real role. Like he's embodied.
No, he's great. I mean, yeah. You said that there was that one line or so where it kind of sounded like the Joel voice was coming out a little bit. But no, I agree with you. And if I didn't know what was going to happen, because I remember what happened to his character James in the video game, which I knew was going to happen here with Ellie taking the butcher knife to his neck after tricking them that she's been infected. I really thought, too, they did a good job of setting up the audience who had not played the game of kind of like, yeah, he's losing faith in David. Like, there's a good chance David might execute him at some point, too. Like, they were really doing a good job of, like, setting that up for the audience who has not played the video games. Because, I mean, even though I knew that was going to happen, I was like, I almost feel like they might stray away from the game and go that route just because of how much, like, he's calling him out and just lost faith in him. And, like, David can't show weakness in leadership, so I thought that was interesting that they were doing that. So
I really think they did a great job on slowly pulling back the layers of David throughout this episode. I thought that was like the actor too was perfectly in sync with the script and the direction of knowing of how much more of his evil has to be unveiled per scene.
I can see the complaints now though about him right now on the internet, if there are any. He doesn't look like David from the video game. I don't know. I don't.
Still a white guy. They still got a white guy.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, I personally, like I said, he nailed the mannerisms of, and he sounded very similar to Nolan North. And again, I just love how they peeled back and fleshed the character out even more. Expanded upon the character is the word. And I love how they again expanded upon just the whole town as a whole and just showed David as a leader. I just thought all that stuff was really. It was very meticulous and very interesting.
Well, the way they also unveil the way he deals with his own faith, of it's a manipulation tactic, and he's really succumbed to the worship of the cordyceps.
Yes,
that is his new deity. I thought that was a really fascinating layer to this apocalyptic worship.
Yeah.
That was a crazy inclusion, and like I'm surprised we don't have anything like that in the game. There's not of both games. There's nothing about that in either of the games.
Well, Neil Druckmann has always said if we can improve upon anything from the game, I mean, if we stay faithful to the game, we're gonna stay faithful to the game. But if there's something we can improve upon, we're gonna do it, whether it's faithful or not. So. No, I'm glad they've adapted to that method.
Like the cordyceps are our new lords,
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fascinating version of being an apostle in this situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Obviously, no one who hasn't played, will understand that. But yes, I agree with you.
But guys, we're gonna talk about some spoilery stuff right now. So if you haven't played, thank you for being here. Buy a shirt. If you don't want to hear anything about what more than likely will come up, than because I think when playing this game before I go to spoilers, but I think when playing this section, when I there's choices in the second game that very much upset the audience.
I wonder what you're talking about.
And when I played the second game for the first time, when those choices first presented themselves, like I love the second game, I prefer it over the first. But when those choices first presented themselves, I remember being upset. However, when I replayed both the first game and the second game, like pretty much right away, it was this chapter that made me go, oh no, wait, this flows really well now into the second game. Like, I'm not upset at all by the choice because this chapter really sets that up. And then this episode made it even more of a setup that I went, oh, what an interesting way to condense it down. Instead of a bunch of hunters he kills to just one guy. So that's what I'm going to talk about here. So I would click off right now if you made it this far. But yeah, for those who've played the second game, or at least are aware of what happens in it, is that Joel is killed by Abby. And why is because, without going into every single detail, Abby's father was murdered by Joel.
Dr. Jerry Anderson.
And now here, they're bringing that over here in a way that is like a setup for what is to come. Because when I played the game, when you get to this section and you get all these people who are hunting down Joel, they want Joel's head, it was already to me telegraphing that, oh, people are coming for Joel and Joel's going to die. Like the first game was already saying that to us. And then you get to the second game and you're like, well, there it is. People came for Joel. And then they made it even more on the nose here by going, this girl's dad was killed by Joel. Yeah. We got to find this guy and kill him. Yes. It is massive foreshadowing for
that's what I was thinking.
For the second game, that I think, because it's going to be hard for people to swallow that who are not familiar with the game. It's going to be really hard. Like, people who are familiar with the game can already have it. There's already enough people who have a hard time with it, you know?
I've also been reading so many comments, too, that saying they better change up what they did in the second game.
They're not going to.
Like, they're not. Look how faithful this season has been. Like, dude, you're not getting what you want. Sorry.
No, Joel's dying.
Yeah.
1,000% he's dying.
Yeah, I mean, Abby's going to get a Joel in one. We already know that. So, I mean, no, I agree with you. They clearly foreshadowed that here. I mean, I was thinking that right when we mentioned that it was her dad. I was in my head. I was just going, this is total Abby foreshadowing. So, I mean, yeah, it does show that. I mean, if you remember to that game, for anyone who played or watched the gameplay of what happens, Joel says to her, like, why don't you save whatever speech you got or whatever he says, like, he knows there are consequences to what he's done. Like, he knows his life is over in the moment. Like, and Joel's accepting of that. Obviously, he doesn't want him to die, but he's accepting, like, hey, I know I've hurt a lot of people in the past. Obviously, it's, he's defending himself or surviving or whatever the case may be. But he knows he has killed a lot of people, and those people have families. So, again, he's very accepting of the fact that, hey, this is clearly someone I've hurt in the past. Someone is related to someone. I don't know exactly who. But my life is over, and it is what it is. It sucks, but
it is what it is.
Yeah, no, but I mean, again, they did a good job of foreshadowing that here so that even the people who are not going to be happy with that can understand, like, hey, it sucks what's going to happen, but you understand, like, even though it was clearly, obviously, self-defense and what happens here, what happens in the game, again, people who are here, you already know what happened. It wasn't self-defense in regard to when he kills Dr. Jerry Anderson. That particular case was not self-defense. Whether Abby was prone to know if that was self-defense, I mean, it's really, it doesn't matter at that point. All she knows is her dad's dead, and she just wants the guy who killed her. She's bent on revenge. So, I mean, we go from that stage. But in regards to this one, again, whether it's self-defense or not, it doesn't matter. These, you are affecting other people's lives when you kill someone and they've got a family member. And so, again, they did it, like you said, they did a great job of foreshadowing that, setting that up. Whether people are going to like that or not, I don't think it matters. What just matters is that it's executed properly, and I think we're all going to be heartbroken and sad when that comes. I am curious, though. Obviously, we know it's going to happen in season 2. how early are you gonna do that in season 2? Like,
I hope it's the opening scene.
first scene.
The first scene.
No,
I
no,
hope
no,
they
but-
just cut to
but-
Joel's head.
But really, I mean, because a lot of these, I mean, the first couple episodes of this season were really freaking long, which I loved. So I'm wondering, like, maybe episode 3, maybe episode, I don't know. I mean, maybe, I'm very curious to see how they're going to do that because, again, like we've talked about, Last of Us Part 2 is like 5 times longer than the first game. So you were able to do the first game in 9 episodes. I don't know if they're going to have to split it up in a couple of seasons when we get to season 2, or you're going to have to do 18 episodes. I'm very curious how they're going to do all that because you are not doing season 2 in 9 episodes. Like, that's just, in my opinion, that's just not happening. Not at the length of episodes that we're getting here. In my opinion, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think they're going to be able to do season 2 in 9 episodes?
I think they can do it in 5. I think all you got to
Right
do
when I said that, I
is
knew he was coming with a joke.
all you got to do is focus on Abby. I don't care to see Ellie's story. Just take it all from Abby's perspective.
But again, like I was talking about too, like seeing the loss of Ellie's innocence and her soul, basically. I mean, you said being reborn in fire and all that, which I agree with. A lot of that rage carries over into the second game. So again, you talk about the foreshadowing, what happened with, you know,
It's a very important chapter.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, like, but that's the thing. Like, when I just went straight into the second game, like, where's all this pent up energy coming from with Ellie? And then when I replayed both the first and the second game back to back, I'm like, okay, this chapter is just so integral and like where that violence and that rage just comes from. It's freaking David, like, got it out of her. So, yeah, no, I think part 2 is just, I mean, it's a great game on its own, but it just goes so much better when you play it immediately after the first game.
It does. That's how I'd recommend for people to play it. It's just-
Like, skip the first game, just go right
so
to the second game.
most people waited years and then they played it, you know.
Exactly,
So,
which
which can affect the experience.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for today's episode. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe. Follow Andrew.
Don't forget to buy a shirt.
Don't forget to buy a shirt.
Don't forget to mention how cringeworthy I was.
Andrew, pick any name. Watch anything but Gabriel and David since they've already been shouted out. Any name. Any name. I'll make it work.
Let's go with...
Come on, buddy.
Go with Lance.
Lance Dorr. Lance is like, if there's some common facts we know about Lance, all right? Canadian fella.
Ah, I'm half Canadian. Did you know that?
Are you?
I'm half Canadian. My father's side.
Wow, that's awesome to know. He's also a firefighter, and he's got like a hot wife and a really cool kid. So what a lot of people don't know about Lance, though, is that actually, and I got to be very careful of my words here, he's not a very interesting man. He's actually quite dull. The reason why his woman loves him so much, let's just say he's got a really big fire hose. You know what I mean?
I understood that reference.
And he sent me photos. Now, normally, I tell followers, maybe you shouldn't be sending me photos of those things because it's inappropriate. But boy, did I keep asking for more from Lance, and he kept delivering the goods. Sometimes in an actual fire situation, they don't even use what's on the fire truck.
Nice.
When they're not able to access a fire hydrant,
Yeah.
they call upon Lance. And he just unzips and does his thing. He has saved many lives with that fire hose of his.
So he sent you the fire hose. How about the axe, his helmet? Any pictures of those as well? Are we talking about the same thing?
Are you talking about an actual axe and a helmet, or do you mean a photo of his big axe?
Whichever one you want to use your imagination for.
Yeah, he sent me a photo of an actual axe. It was really cool. It was really sharp and made of, it was red, full of, and super sharp. And the helmet as well. He sent me a physical one. But the fire hose I'm talking about is...
That's what I thought.
No, Lance is a great guy. There's more to him than his fire hose.
I just want to know if the line from Batman Forever was true when he said to Dr. Chase Meridian, try firemen less to take off. I just want to know if that line is true. Lance, let us know.
I think we both need some sleep.